The elite has just said. The elite. Get more elite than me? I have better everything than they have, including this.
What's up, everyone? This is your friendly neighborhood fella, Commander P. The P stands for Papi, and welcome to the Proudcast, everyone. All right, so we got quite the show for you today, everybody. We're going to be looking at fake news in America. I understand we look at it all the time, but now we're going to be taking a deeper insight into it. I like that word. That's what we're going to use for it. So we're going to start with the border bash. That's the first one we're covering. Everything that's going on at the border, all of that messiness, we're going to cover that and what it means, more importantly. Number 2, we're going to cover The Green Book, which was a movie that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and how liberals apparently hate a movie against racism now. And finally, we're going to move into the new Proud Boys Constitution, and how the fake news managed to twist that again. We can never get a break, right, guys? So stay tuned, because we got a nice good long episode for you. And it's starting now. All right. So we look at what's going on at the border. I think this was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much the migrant caravan. The migrant caravan, by the way, that has come from Honduras. I think that's correct. Yeah, Honduras. All the way up to Central America, through Mexico, and it has now come to the United States. Now, here's the thing about this caravan. Before I even jump into the story, let me just say, there's something fishy going on with these caravans. I mean, all of these people, regardless of the fact that they're all men, or almost all are men, all of these people chose to leave Honduras at the same time, form a giant caravan, and go to the United States at the same time that the midterms were rolling around. There's something fishy there, you know? It might just be me, but I don't like the look of that. That shows you that something sinister is going on. I mean, you look at Mexico. Mexico has illegal immigration all the time. Mexicans come here illegally. Okay, yeah. But there's no pattern to it. Well, not only is there no pattern to it, but they don't just make a huge event out of it. That's what we're seeing in Honduras. That's what we're seeing with this caravan. And just around the time that midterms pull in, I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's definitely stay tuned into what's going on with that, because I don't know. There might be something that comes out later on with this whole the whole investigation that Trump is doing into the deep staters. We might see some traces of that. But anyway, I digress. The migrant caravan goes to all these countries, walks all the way through Mexico. By the way, they could have just stayed in Mexico. They could have just stopped. They could have stayed practically anywhere, to be honest. But no. We want to go to Los Estados Unidos. We want to go to America. Isn't that crazy? When you actually look at the number of places that they passed that they could have just stayed in, it's like, why did you come all the way over here, man? Like, you had plenty of places to stay on along the way, but that's besides the point. The migrant caravan finally gets to, I guess, a hole in the border. No, I'm kidding. It's an entrance in the border that's next to San Diego. And I think the name of the town was San Ysidro, something like that. It was something kooky. It's kooky for even a Hispanic to say it. But they make their way up, right? They make their way to this hole in the border, or border crossing, which is immediately shut down at once. And they all try to go in at once, and obviously it doesn't work. Because I don't know if you ever tried to go through a door, try to fit through 6 people in a door at once. It doesn't really work. I mean, you might eventually push them all through, but it's not going to be proactive, right? So these people that the left has been telling us for months are purely innocent. Purely just want to come to, they just want to come to America, right? And are mostly women and children. What do? When the Border Patrol starts to shut them down, when the Border Patrol goes, hey, stop coming in, we're going to close down the border, stay over there, please, don't go here. They throw rocks. They start chucking rocks at Border Patrol officers. I'm waiting for the response of the left. I don't think it's going to come. But it's crazy, you know? It's so funny how the left always manages to mess up their own narrative with the people they defend and the people they stick up for. It's like, for example, what was it? Proposition 20, 27, something like that. In California, there was a proposition to, I think it was to legalize same-sex marriage throughout the state of California. I think that was it. And the thing didn't pass because the blacks and the Hispanics voted no on it. I think Gavin has cited that a number of times. But Gavin McInnes from the Gavin McInnes Show and Get Off My Lawn. But they throw the rocks. So obviously the Border Patrol is going to go, yeah, no. And they start chucking tear gas back, right? They shooting tear gas at them. And it happens. The left gets the picture that they have been waiting for their entire lives. They snapped this picture of, I think we're going to pull it up right now, actually, of this woman who is wearing a, if you could tell what she's wearing there, she's wearing a Frozen shirt. And then, like, the sleeves are cut up, or, like, they're cut off. I don't know, maybe she was too big for it. And you look at what she's dragging. She's dragging 2 children there. One of them has no shoes, by the way. And I know everybody has been talking about this. I understand that, but I'm going to say it. What is a little girl doing with no shoes on? What? In your whole journey, you couldn't stop once to put some shoes on her? Or maybe from the beginning you could have gone, oh, okay, we're about to embark on a journey that's going to cover like 6 countries. So, you know, Juanita, come here. We're going to put some shoes on you. What? Like, maybe the shoe got lost. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. So, you look in the background of this picture, and this is where stuff really gets fishy. You look to the left, like if you can see like the left corner over there. And there seems to be a group of people taking pictures. And you look in the big cluster group that's behind her head. There's a guy taking a selfie It's got a little selfie out. It's taking a selfie. Oh, this will look cute for Instagram. Boop. And Gavin actually pointed this out. Gavin McInnes pointed this out and got off my lawn. The guy all the way to the right, he has his backpack on. He's going for a stroll. Don't mind me. Just getting to class. Like, what? What are they doing? The left and the fake news covering this could not have taken a better picture? It's like, what are you doing, man? You know? If you're gonna create the fake news coverage that the left always does, at least make sure you tell the people in the back, hey guys, can you just go and take that somewhere else? We're trying to get this picture right now. And they go, okay, whatever. But here's the thing about all of this. The picture, it doesn't matter. The migrant caravan, with how far they've traveled, doesn't matter. What matters is, do they get it? Do they get in? That's what really matters. And I'll share with you guys a little secret. This is from the Hispanic community, the Hispanic American community. What do Hispanics think of illegal immigrants? Now, I can't speak for everyone here, but I will speak for a very big number of Hispanics that I have personally heard from, and myself and my own family. Think about it like this for a sec. You are a person living in Honduras, or Mexico, or Colombia, wherever. It can really be wherever. And one day you wake up and you make the mental decision to say, I am going to move to the United States. Am I going to move to Colombia? No. Am I going to go move to Mexico? No. Spain? No. Even though I wouldn't have to learn the second language, but no. I am going to move to America. Okay. So you apply, you get your visa, or you don't. For this example, it doesn't really matter. And you get there. You get to the United States. And what do you do? As a lot of these immigrants, illegal immigrants, do. You get government welfare. You get food stamps. You get free housing. Why? Because it's hard. Don't forget that there's capitalism. Forget that you can get a job. Forget that we're currently in the best economy the United States has had for a very long time. Forget that. No, it's hard. Also, take into mind that all this money they're getting, all this money you're getting, since this is an example, right? All this money you're getting is from the same government that you will not pledge allegiance to. That is selfish. That's truly selfish, right? God, imagine if an American did that in Germany or in Britain. How rude that would be. Selfish. Probably be kicked out. Yet, here in America, we have, or had, some of the most relaxed immigration laws in the entire world. And we still allow for this type of taking advantage to happen. So here's why this is important. You might be thinking, oh, okay, an immigrant comes here, an illegal comes here, they get government checks. Hurts my taxes, but does it really hurt the country as a whole? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And this is how. Look at the Florida map, the Florida county map for the 2018 midterm governor election. You're going to find a disturbing trend there. Miami-Dade County went blue for Andrew Gillum. That was the defeated Democrat candidate for governor. Broward County went blue. Hillsborough County went blue. I believe that's the place where Tampa's located at. Orlando Orange County went blue. What do all those counties have in common? 2 words. Mass immigration. Let me make something very clear right now. There's nothing wrong with immigration. There's nothing wrong with somebody taking the time and money to come to another country, especially this one. We welcome immigrants here. However, we welcome immigrants who would like to become citizens, not immigrants who defy the laws of this country and then after and take the money that the government has for the American people. They take it all the while they don't pledge allegiance to the American flag. And then they can vote in elections. Isn't that crazy? And I know illegals can't vote, but that doesn't stop Democrats from telling them to vote. What's it called? We saw in Broward County, actually, when Brenda Snipes was under fire, that the lawyers for the Democrats actually wanted illegal alien votes to be counted. Isn't that insane? I tell that to people. I tell that to liberals, and they go, no. I tell that to conservatives, and they just kind of shake their head and go, yeah, I can't believe it, man. But isn't that insane? Shouldn't conservatives be getting more angry about this? Illegal votes. They're saying, yeah, illegal votes count. Count every vote. Count every illegal vote. What? Shouldn't people be up in arms about this? Now, of course, Brenda Snipes got fired. She resigned. I'm sorry. Brenda Snipes resigned. She's going to get fired because she just tried to cancel her resignation. I don't know what's going to happen after we make this episode. I don't know what's to come in the trilogy of Brenda Snipes. But, it's not right. We can't have illegals coming here and then swaying elections, especially when they come from places like Venezuela or Cuba, where they have communism and socialism, yet they vote, and Nicaragua too, and they vote for a candidate who has declared himself a socialist or a democratic socialist. It's the same garbage. I hate it when people tell me, no, well, it's democratic socialist. No, it's not. It's the same thing. You had to add the word democratic in front of it. That's like saying democratic capitalism. It's the same thing. But I digress. We can't have them coming here if they choose to not respect the laws of this land. And then sway elections in the favor of the Democrats. Or in the favor of any party, to be honest. If it was Republicans doing this, I would denounce them just as fast. We can't have this happen here. We cannot have this. However, the elite, ruling class, the media, will tell you it's all right. Let them in. Let them in. I stand with immigrants, right? Except these aren't immigrants. These are invaders. There's a difference. Immigrants were the Irish, the Italians, Cubans, a lot of Mexicans too, who came here, and Chinese who came here, worked their butts off, built homes for their families, and overall benefited the American economy and American political process. These people just want free grabs. That's it. That's really all there is to it. Well, actually, yeah, that is all there is to it, because I'm moving on to the next story now. I couldn't think of a good enough transition. But, so we're going to be talking about The Green Book. If you don't know what that is, that's a movie that came out like a month ago? Half a month ago? I don't know. It came out November 16th. Peter Farrelly directs it. Not that that matters. You probably don't care about that. That's fine. I'll tell you what you do have to care about in a second. It stars, oh boy, I'm going to butcher this name. Mahershala Ali. Mahershala Ali. I think I got that right. Mr. Ali, if you're listening, I apologize. And Viggo Mortensen. It's got Viggo Mortensen in it. In case you don't remember him, he's the guy in Lord of the Rings who played Aragorn. He was the one that went for Frodo. Except this time he was saying for anti-racism, because that might as well be the whole movie, right? Pretty much, the movie covers Don Shirley. It's based on a true story, by the way. True story, 100% true. Don Shirley, who was a classical pianist, black guy, in the 1960s, living in New York. He's about to take a tour of the Deep South. Of course, there's going to be a lot of racism there, so he brings along Tony Lip Vallelonga. Tony's an Italian from New York, blah, blah, blah. You already know where this is going. It's a surprisingly funny movie, by the way. It's actually very funny. I didn't realize how funny that movie would be. A lot of good jokes in there. But pretty much what happens in the movie is Tony takes, as his driver, takes Don Shirley and bodyguard through the South to do the concert tour. Don Shirley gets beat up a few times. Tony beats up a few people, shoots a gun. And then in the end, Tony's racism was solved because Tony was a little bit racist before. But it's solved. It's done, you know? So it goes to show you that. Oh, and also, by the way, let me add really quick that it shows white people who are very racist. It shows that. It does not deny the existence of that, but it also does not deny the existence of white people who lived in the South who were not racist. There's one scene where a cop stops Tony and Don as they're driving up back to New York, and he pulls them over. And after the last interaction they had with the cop, where the cop was very racist, I don't need to tell you the words he said. But the cop just goes over. He goes, "Hey, you know why I pulled you over?" And then Tony's like, "Why?" He goes, "Oh, you got a flat tire." Helps him fix the flat tire. He turns to Don and he goes, "Merry Christmas," because it's around Christmas time when they get back. There you go, right? Hey, warms your heart. But liberals say, no, that does not warm my heart because he's racist anyway. Yeah, so liberals are up in arms because of this movie. Saying that it's racist, appeals to white people, blah, 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 blah. I can tell you exactly what they said. So this is an article from The Ringer. It's called Judging Green Book by Its Cover. So I'm going to read you a few quotes from here. They're really ridiculous. This one says, it's a comforting vision for the white viewer, reminding them of the quote-unquote progress the country has made regarding racism. What? Yeah, don't put that in quotation marks. I think this country has made progress regarding racism. It has. Are you kidding me? How can anybody look at this movie, see what the 1960s South was like, and be like, yeah, there's not any progress anymore. We've come nowhere. What? Get out of here. And yeah, it's a comforting vision. Or not even vision. It's a comforting view. What am I saying vision for? That's what the article says, but that's not even true. Yeah, it's a comforting view for not only white people, black people too, Americans in general. Of course it's comforting. I'd like to see the progress we've made. I'd like to look back on that and say, wow, we were really bad then. Or, well, technically not my ancestors, but wow, white people's ancestors were very bad then. You know, my ancestors were still in Cuba. They were very bad then. Look how far we've come, though. You know, wow, look, today, you know, I can walk by a black person on the street, no problem, because of the things that have been done by the civil rights movement and many other people to stop racism. This is cool. I like this. This is comforting. You know? But no, the left says no. It cannot be comforting. You must carry your guilt with you for the rest of your life. Anyway, here's another one. Here's another one that's funny. Then after that they go, it's based on the assumption that racism can end through friendship. Isn't friendship what ended racism in the first place? I mean, wasn't Martin Luther King Jr. best friends with John F. Kennedy? Is that it? Is that the friendship I'm thinking of? I think that was it. Or it was Lyndon B. Johnson. I don't remember. But Yeah. I mean, friendship stops racism. Friendship can end any prejudice, actually. And it's very hard to be racist. It's very hard to be racist today. You know, I've noticed that. Unless you literally live under a rock, or you just lock yourself indoors for your entire life and never have, if you're white, never have any interaction with a black guy, and just go, oh, I hate them so much, and just spend every day hating them, it's impossible to be racist. It actually is. In the day and age we live in today, don't count on it. You can't. You just can't. So Vulture says something pretty stupid too. The Vulture says, it tells us a story about American racism that has always been irresistibly appealing to that portion of white Americans who see themselves as mediators. What? You're going to hear me saying what a lot, because this is just like, what are you talking about? These people, they must live in a bubble. They must live in some high and mighty castle where everybody is perfect all the time and nothing bad ever existed. And they must never go out in the real world. And they must assume that everybody who has the slightest right-wing view or just doesn't agree with the leftist agenda is automatically racist. These people cannot be serious. Somebody actually wrote this, right? So, white Americans who see themselves as mediators. The narrative's changed, and I think that's the funniest part about this article. It's gone from white people are racist, and now it's turned into white people who punish other white people who are racist are also racist. What? That sounds a little fishy there, don't you think? I don't know where they're going with this. You know, the end has no end game when it comes to almost all of their policies and beliefs. So this is just another wacko thing that they're going to drive into the ground. Like illegal immigration, for example, when you go, so we have a lot of illegal immigrants in this country and you want to let in more. How many more? And they go, 30 million? It's like that. Anyway, it gets worse because this is the worst of them all. Mary Sue. The Mary Sue, right? Mary Sue writes, okay, this is the name of the article. It's pretty long. I can't fit this into a sentence. But Green Book continues exhausting trend of feel-good racism movies winning awards. Why are the headlines so long? Like, remember the days? What am I talking about? This was like the 1930s. When headlines were like 3 words or like a sentence. Now it's like... Anyway. It starts as describing the writers as all white guys, which is not true, by the way. I mean, technically true, by the way. The main writer was Nick Vallelonga. You might recognize that last name because it's the last name of the guy in the movie, because he's his dad. Well, Nick Vallelonga is not the dad. Nick Vallelonga is the son. So, Nick Vallelonga interviewed his dad, Tony, and Don Shirley as well, extensively. Really, he did it to a T. Before this movie came out. I mean, when they were still alive. Because Don Shirley, I think he died in like 2013 around there. I think they both died in 2013. But he interviewed both of them extensively. Really, really, like deep interview. He really did a good job here. And he did it for years, too. It wasn't just something that he got down with there and went, hey, Grandpa, tell me about this. Or, Dad, tell me about this. But regardless of the fact that he got Don Shirley's point of view on the entire incident and Tony's point of view on the entire story, it's still written by white guys. It's still all white guys who wrote this movie. Okay. All right, Mary Sue. Sure. Oh, and by the way, he spent a long time interviewing Don Shirley, and he's actually going to release the movie much, much sooner. But Don Shirley told him not to. He said, release the movie after I die. Or start making it after I die. Nick was like, okay, all right. And that's why you can't really get Don Shirley's opinion on the movie. You just have to you just have to have confidence in Nick Vallelonga, that he took Don Shirley's words and he made them fact in the movie, which I believe he did. If his dad really had such a great relationship with Don Shirley, and he did. He died, I think, a few months apart. So it goes on. It also calls Trump a racist. It manages to do that. Has nothing to do with the actual movie. What? And then here's the quote. Oh boy, this one's a doozy. By the way, guys, I know that most conservatives, you guys don't like to have fake news in your lives. So I know I'm like that. I don't like to have fake news in my life. So when I have to dig for articles about fake news, it's like, oh God, it's such a headache. It's like me putting on a dive suit and diving into trash and bringing you back the smelliest piece of garbage. But anyway, here's the quote. These movies are not for black people, but to utilize black pain and black historical trauma to craft feel-good movies to make white people cry. The same white people who will still upturn their nose at Black Lives Matter protesters, blah, 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 still vote for Trump, blah, 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 blah. Doesn't really matter, right? A major what to this? What? That was a major what? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, God. These people must be so angry on the inside. They must be so unhappy. How could you write something like this? About a movie too. And a good one against racism. Oh, God. So it starts off and it goes, utilize black pain and black historical trauma? What the hell is black historical trauma? If it's historical trauma, meaning it didn't happen to you personally, it's not trauma. Oh my God. That's like saying Cuban historical trauma because we had a dictatorship, or we still do have a dictatorship. Yeah, but I didn't go through it. It's not my trauma. It's like, what's the Chinese historical drama? Because you guys had Mao. It's like, hey, yeah, but I'm fine. Oh God. Okay. So black historical trauma. This word, I'm guessing this is a word. I think that this is something they actually use in college campuses in an African American studies course. Isn't this just the same as just trying to bring back slavery? You're bringing back the whole slavery concept? See, they stopped the whole slavery argument. Black Lives Matter stopped the whole slavery argument because, well, people were right. White people who said, well, I didn't do that to you. Might have been my ancestors. I apologize for that, but it wasn't me. They kind of realized that there is no counter argument to I didn't do it. So they just have to call it something different now. So they call it black historical trauma. Okay. To make white people cry. All right. It's a low blow, but sure. The same white people who will still upturn their noses at Black Lives Matter protesters. Of course I'm going to upturn my nose at a Black Lives Matter protester. Black Lives Matter is one of the most disorganized, quote-unquote, civil rights organizations, movements I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. And it's so disorganized. It's so anti-progressive or degressive. It's so degressive that it's almost like it undoes all of the societal virtues that came about in Martin Luther King Jr.'s civil rights movement. It's horrible. So yeah. I'm gonna upturn my nose at Black Lives Matter. So vote for Trump, blah 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 blah. So they're saying that if you don't like Black Lives Matter, you're racist. And if you vote for Trump, you're racist. Ah, that's it. It took me a second to get that. That's what it's all about here. It's about Trump. That's it. Is anybody surprised? It's Trump is a racist, and if you vote for him, you're a racist. So, of course, when people are accused of racism, they go, oh, God, no, I'm not a racist. And the left just goes, yeah, but you just proved that you're a racist because you said you're not a racist. Because you still voted for Trump. So now Green Book is apparently racist because it was made by white people who, no matter what, are always racist. Gee, thanks, liberals. That was... Thanks for clearing that one up. Thanks for that double standard. It's crazy how these news sources covered this movie. A movie that 10 years ago would have been praised by the left. It's crazy how far they've turned. But this all has to do with the fake news. The ruling class, the elite ruling class telling you what to think. And pandering to these previously disenfranchised groups, which have now become pretty extremist. So Black Lives Matter. I'd call it an extremist organization at heartbeat. You see, they call Black Lives Matter non-racist, not extremist. Yet they insist that Proud Boys are a hate group. I mean, this is the Proud Cast. We're going to talk about the Proud Boys eventually. Proud of your boy. So, that leads me into my next and final story for this episode. The Proud Boys Constitution. So, the Proud Boys as an organization have recently made a constitution outlining all of the bylaws that are in Proud Boys rules, pretty much. Proud Boys rules, yeah. Now here's the thing about these laws. We didn't need to put them on paper. Everybody already knew them. Everybody already followed them. However, we needed to put in paper because now we got you guys calling us a hate group. Or we have you guys calling us a hate group. And then we have the fake Guardian article that got published that said the FBI was investigating us because we are an extremist group, which we are not. You can check actually Uhuru News. I wrote an article about this. It's completely a hoax. It all comes down to Clark County, Washington. I think I actually said Oregon in the last episode. Oops, Clark County, Oregon. Clark County, Washington. Well, they're both the same state. They're pretty much the same in their politics. Clark County, Washington's police department, who fired a Proud Boys girl because she was a Proud Boys girl and on the basis of nothing else. And they had to give a credible argument besides, she was a Proud Boy girl. So, so they said, it was the FBI. Oh, yeah, FBI told them they were under investigation for being an extremist group. Yeah, that'll do it, huh? Yeah, publish that. And The Guardian did, and it's been circulating everywhere. It's 100% fake, though. 100% fake. So we made a constitution, and it's pretty much the rules of the Proud Boys membership, strike zone, not strike zone. That's baseball. Oops. What's it called? Like 3 strikes, you're out. The disciplinary path. And I have a quote here, directly from the Constitution. This has to do with the membership part. I'm gonna read it to you guys. It's ripped straight out of membership. So of course you already know to be a Proud Boy you need to be born a male. So trannies, if you pass for a guy, sure I'll call you a guy, but you're not gonna be a Proud Boy. Come on. But besides those basic rules of membership, just being born a guy and patriotic, that's really good. Western chauvinist. Nothing else to it. It has this little part right here. I quote, "No person eligible for membership in the fraternity shall be discriminated against or denied membership in the fraternity on the basis of race, color, national origin, veteran status, disability, religion, marital status, or sexual orientation." Da-da-da. See? I mean, for God's sake, we have black people in the Vice City chapter. We have, it's 80% Hispanic here in the Vice City chapter. We even have a black gay guy, I think. Right? Yeah. I'm not going to mention him on camera or on mic, whatever this is called. But I digress. We also have laws in the new bylaws against consumption of opioids and meth, committing criminal acts, selling illicit drugs, and unlawful engagement in violent conduct, which means we are not a hate group. How obvious do we have to make it? God. However, the left persists. The fake news persists. This is an article by the Daily Beast. And this is the coverage that the Constitution has been getting. Completely harmless Constitution. Also, by the way, one more thing before I cover the Daily Beast article. No wanks is officially a rule now. I mean, it always was officially a rule. Part of the degrees of being a Proud Boy, you have to quit pornography. Goodbye porn. Stick to women. Or if you're a gay man, stick to men. Okay? No more porn. Porn. No wanking. That's a rule. So here's what the Daily Beast has to say about this. In the article, new Proud Boy rules. Less fighting, less wanking. Okay, yes. Less fighting, you're right. Less wanking, you're also right. But here's what the subtitle has to say, okay? Far-right outfit is trying to escape its violent reputation with new prohibitions on head punches, self-love, and cargo shorts. Okay. Here's the thing. We're not far-right. We are very far. We're very far from far-right. If anything, we're libertarian, to be honest. I mean, Gavin was libertarian. I think he actually openly declared himself a libertarian. The point is, far-right is usually associated with Nazis. We have made very clear that we are not Nazis. But as much as we persist about this subject, the left will always come to the conclusion that we are Nazis, even though we are not. So, the far-right outfit is trying to escape its violent reputation. Well, of course we're trying to escape our violent reputation. You gave us the violent reputation. Sometimes I think they're just playing dumb. Sometimes I think they really know what's going on. They're just using willful ignorance. A violent reputation, right? You want to talk about how we earned that quote-unquote violent reputation. We earned it from defending ourselves against Antifa. Come on, Antifa. They almost always strike first. The only time I've ever seen a Proud Boy strike first against Antifa is when I think it was Portland, Antifa was burning an American flag. It's actually a criminal offense, by the way, so if anything, it would have been considered stopping a criminal act. There's a fancy word for that. I forgot it. It doesn't matter. But when you talk about Proud Boys, you talk about a violent reputation. What about Antifa? Why don't they describe it? Why do they never describe Antifa the same way they describe Proud Boys? And especially in all of these articles I'm about to mention, they mention Antifa. Do you know what they call them? They call them anti-fascist counter-protesters. I talked a little bit about this in the last episode. They're not anti-fascists. They're communists. They're domestic terrorists. They're not anti-fascist counter-protesters. That implies that implies there was actual fascism present, which there wasn't. 2, that implies that there's some sort of nobility in what they're doing. And what they're doing is peaceful too, which it's not. It's far from peaceful. But I digress. So with new prohibitions on head punches, when they say head punches, they're talking about second degree, by the way, which is you have to get beaten up by 5 guys and name 5 breakfast cereals in order to become a second degree Proud Boy. I got my second before the laws came out. So I'm telling you guys, this Constitution, it's really just stuff that we were already abiding. There's nothing new about it. We just wrote it down on the piece of paper. So yeah, no head punches is the rule, by the way. You can't punch in the head. It's all punches to the body and our knees. Self-love, yeah, no wanks. Big whoop. It's so funny how they focus on no wanks. It's like, what, do leftists love porno? Do they just not get out that much that they need to watch porno all the time? Explains the noodle arms. Anyway, and cargo shorts. Now, I will admit it doesn't seem like the most important rule, but we have a rule that says no cargo shorts or sandals. So pretty much, a Proud Boy may not wear cargo shorts or sandals outside of the privacy of his own home. We just don't like cargo shorts and sandals. Wear jeans. Wear something manly. Not cargo shorts. Jorts, at the least. But, anyway, this is what the media has to say about it besides Daily Beast. NBC News, okay? NBC News. NBC News said in their article, Proud Boys founder distancing himself from extremist organization. Okay, back up just 1 second. Proud Boys founder, okay, yes, you're right. Gavin was the founder. And by the way, if you couldn't already tell, this is about Gavin stepping down. For those of you who don't know, Gavin McInnes, founder of the Proud Boys, steps down. Or he stepped down. It has a long video on it on YouTube. It's about like 33 minutes long, something like that. To help out the NYC-9. The NYC-9 were a bunch of Proud Boys in New York after the Manhattan Republicans Club event were attacked by Antifa. Okay? Attacked. As in Antifa struck first, started beating the crap out of these Proud Boys. And then the Proud Boys kicked the crap out of them because it's Antifa. You can always win against them. God, they're so weak. But anyway, Proud Boys won, right? In pure self-defense. Like the Proud Boys say, we don't start fights, we end fights. FAFO. So, 9 of the guys were arrested. 9 Proud Boys were arrested. They're facing felony charges. I think. Facing jail time, pretty much. And Gavin has been told that if he steps down as the founder of the Proud Boys, they'll have less harsher sentencing. So he did. Even though he's not the leader at all. I mean, I can tell you right now, I can tell all of you listening at home, in every Proud Boy meeting, Commander P, I'm probably the Proud Boy who mentions Gavin the most. They never, we never freaking mention him. But, so then look at the second part of this headline. Distancing himself from extremist organization. That looks fishy. I can understand it if it said hate group, but it says extremist organization. Oh yeah, that's right. They cite the fake Guardian article. The article that says the FBI classified us as an extremist organization. The fake news, which I completely decimated, by the way, in the article on hoovernews.com. You can check that out later after the podcast. The link below. But then HuffPost. HuffPost comes out too. HuffPost comes out swinging. Oh boy, I haven't seen the balls on HuffPost like this in a long time. The headline reads, "The Proud Boys are imploding." You might think, well, how are the Proud Boys imploding? Well, I'll tell you how, or HuffPost will tell you how. Gavin stepping down, the NYC-9, and again, the fake Guardian article are apparently the 3 reasons why we as an organization are imploding. Or are we as an ideology imploding? Or are we as people imploding? I don't know. They just say Proud Boys. So here's the thing. We are far from imploding. In fact, if anything, we've never been disorganized. I'll be honest. Gavin stepping down for our brothers, the NYC-9, and the fake Guardian article. And by the way, no hate on Gavin. No hate on Gavin for stepping down. He did what he had to do. And the fake Guardian article. Meaningless. We as an organization will continue to do what we have always done, and that is defend the West and Western chauvinism. Defend our core tenets. And make sure that we always spread the truth, especially here in the Hoover News, that we always spread the truth against the fake news ruling class. Because you have to think, why? Why do so many fake news articles come out against the Proud Boys? Why? If all we do is just help law enforcement, do community service, crash a couple of lefty rallies, activism, really, and just campaign. What are we doing wrong? Nothing. It's the elite class, the deep staters, the Democrat Party, the fake news. They're scared. No, they're not scared. They're trembling. And you saw it. You saw it during the midterms when they had to create that migrant caravan. We know it's not confirmed yet. Not confirmed yet. We'll see what happens when Trump has his investigation into some of these deep staters. We'll see if there's any traces of that. But it's them, and they're scared. We have our foot on the pedal now, and now is not the time to let go. Keep your foot on the pedal. Stay true to your values. We're going to keep America great. God bless America. Thank you guys for listening in today. This is your host, Commander P, your friendly neighborhood fella. And don't forget, the P stands for Papi. And we are signing out. Be sure to check out hoovernews.com, by the way. Link is below. Be sure to like this video. Comment on the video if you want to as well. And share it on Twitter, Facebook, all the social media. And stay proud of your boy, America.